morning sunlight spilled across the quiet street, golden and gentle, but inside the small house on Elmwood Lane, the world felt heavy and still. Leela Martin sat on the edge of the worn wooden chair, her hands folded in her lap, staring at the floorboards that had known too many sleepless nights. Outside, the children in neighboring homes laughed and ran under the open sky, but inside Leela's home, even the air seemed weighed down with unspoken tension. That morning, she realized, life had a way of teaching you lessons before you were ready to learn them. Before I go any further, if you believe in kindness and second chances, please like this video, comment, share, and subscribe to brightlyhub. Stories like this only grow when shared. Leela's father, Martin, had once been a man full of light and laughter, the kind of father whose jokes could make the rain feel warm. But life had slowly worn him down. The factory closure, bills that seemed to multiply overnight, and the silent pressure of responsibility had changed him. He walked through the rooms like a shadow, rarely speaking, his gaze fixed on the floor as though it could hold answers that his mind could not find. Leela's younger brother, Ethan, watched him with wide, cautious eyes, absorbing every flicker of emotion that Martin allowed to escape. Leela, now 17, felt the weight of her family pressing on her shoulders in a way that children rarely understand. Every morning, Leela woke before the sun, brewing tea and preparing breakfast, not for herself, but for the people who no longer had the energy to care for themselves. She walked to school carrying her books and a quiet determination. She dreamed of a life where her family could smile without fear, but those dreams often felt distant, trapped behind the weight of everyday survival. The halls of the school were bright with chatter and movement, and yet Leela's mind carried a silence heavier than any noise around her. She wondered endlessly why life demanded so much from people who already gave everything. One afternoon, she returned home earlier than usual, the sunlight falling through the dusty windows like tiny sparks of hope. She found her mother, Clara, sitting on the couch, her posture tired but dignified, her eyes quietly reflecting the struggles of years. Leela did not speak. Words were unnecessary. She simply sat beside her mother, placing a hand over hers. It was a small gesture, but in that instant the room seemed less heavy. That afternoon, Leela understood that being the eldest was not a title. It was a responsibility. A quiet vow to notice the cracks in the walls of a family and try to mend them, even if only a little at a time. The days that followed were filled with small battles. Leela picked up part-time jobs, carrying groceries for neighbors, tutoring younger children, doing anything she could to add to the household income. Each night, she studied by the dim light of the lamp in the corner, refusing to let the weight of responsibility crush her dreams. Her brother Ethan, once shy and withdrawn, began to imitate her quiet determination, helping around the house and asking questions that revealed a mind too young to carry so much worry but wise enough to notice it. Their mother smiled more often, though it was a fragile smile, one that held both exhaustion and pride. Change, Leela realized, never arrived with a fanfare. It seeped into life slowly, like sunlight warming cold stone. Martin, her father, began waking earlier, sitting near the window, watching the morning unfold as though learning to breathe again. One day, he asked Leela about her studies, not with the automatic curiosity of a parent but with genuine interest. When he smiled in the daylight, just for a moment, it was like a secret gift, a glimpse of hope returning to a house that had known too many shadows. Together, they began to rebuild. They ate lunch at the same table whenever possible, sharing quiet conversation and small victories. Leela realized that family was not about perfect days or dramatic gestures. It was about showing up, again and again, even when you were tired, even when hope felt thin. They laughed together again, sometimes over nothing at all, sometimes over the faint absurdities of life, and each laugh felt like a sunbeam breaking through clouds. Leela often sat on the porch in the late afternoon, watching sunlight play across the street, feeling a gentle warmth seep into her chest. She understood now that growth and healing were not sudden. They were slow, fragile, and beautiful. Family was built in the ordinary moments: a shared cup of tea, a gentle smile, a hand held when words were unnecessary. It was built when someone decided to remain, when someone chose love despite